What's good, everybody? Y'all know who I am. Look, I go by the name of Gabriel Oree, and this is my co-host business partner.
What's up, everybody? JR, how y'all doing?
JR in the house, man. Listen, bro, how was your Friday? How was today, man?
Man, awesome. It was great. Today is my birthday. I can't complain. So I'm relaxing and chilling, man. You know, my day off.
Hey, look. So you watching this on your birthday?
24.
24, I hear you, man. Flip them numbers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Listen, this is another awesome Friday, man, and you are tuned into Ask a Producer. Listen, you know how we say we like to speak to producers, people who are creating something, people who are producing, and tonight is no different, but it's different. We have a very special, extra special, put the extra on top guest with us in the green room tonight. But before I bring her up, I want you guys to share this video. I want you to share, tag a leader, tag a host, tag a hostess, tag anybody that's into being up front. You know, being in front of people. I want you to tag these people. You know, we're going to ramble just a little bit. Share this video. Share this video. We have a special guest tonight, and I'm very excited about her. I know I said her and she and all of those things, so y'all know it's a female. But this person is near and dear to our hearts, to my heart. I'm going to share how we met when we bring her on. But yeah, you know, this day today, man, was very busy for me, bro. Super duper busy. But like I say, listen, all days are busy. You know, some people call it the grind. I call it the shine. So look, without further ado, she hails from the Ratchet. I'm just kidding. Rochester, new to the New York, how they say it. You know,
yo son,
hey, yo, son.
B.
You know how the New Yorkers are, you know, by way of Charleston, South Carolina. She's been here for a good little minute. You know, she's my friend. She's your friend. Once I bring her on, you will know who I'm talking about. And I am talking about the one, the only Miss Deya Smith. Where's she at? There she goes.
What up? Hey, yo, what up, B? What's going on, son? Yes,
yo.
Do it.
What's up, Deya?
It was the echo for me.
You know how to DJ, you gotta slow it down, you know. Now listen. Deya is a whole ball of energy. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If you've never seen this young lady in action,
yes.
And I don't even talk about it could be before action. It's just she's a ball of energy. I love that energy, you know. And before we go on, listen, D, I know I gave you a little Rudy Poop, a little rough introduction, but why don't you really introduce yourself to our platform?
Listen, I am Deya Smith. I am an edutainer. I engage, and I'm an MC. So that is the name of the game for me. I am just a person who keeps the party going, who keeps the show moving. And I'm Deya Smith. I mean, that's pretty much it. I am from upstate New York, representing 585 all day. Although my husband says it's not a part of New York. Yes, it is.
We gotta keep it moving. We like to keep it moving. We gotta move it.
Yeah. And I am a big ball of energy. I just love to make people feel good and understand. And I like to entertain mixed with information because I feel like we perish because we just don't know. And so that's the name of it.
Now, listen, so you are a ball of energy. Did you always have this fire, excitement about you, like in your childhood? Where did this come from?
I think I could have, but I was actually a really, really shy and timid kid. Yes, I was really shy and timid and just always in my head, and I just couldn't get it together. I just couldn't get it together at all. But my sister and brother, they was always just like, pew, having a good time, speaking their mind. And I'm just like, but I would always watch them, and I was like, today I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna go. Like when my mom would take us to somebody, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play because they're like running laps, and I'm just like, I want to do it, but I'm just too scared.
And you freeze up when you get in the moment.
Huh? Right,
You freeze up. You freeze when you get in the moment.
I can't do it. And then by the time I'm ready to have a good time, my mom was like, all right, well, I'll see you later. And I'm just like, man, I missed it again. And so as I started to get older, it was always the same. So I was always really scared and really scary and just really shy and really self-conscious and all these different things. And it wasn't until I had both of my sons. I had one at 19 and the other at about 22. And my oldest son, he was really little, and he said something to me that made me see that I need to be, he's watching me, he's listening to me, but he's really watching me. And so that was the moment that I really was like, okay, I have to be an example. So I have to do scary things that I don't kind of feel comfortable with. Do you know what I mean? And so I started to intentionally go after the things that were inside of me naturally, that I was like hiding away so that I can go with the flow of everybody else. Like I always wanted to just blend in, not understanding that standing out was obviously how God made me to be. So yeah.
Wow.
Of course. Now listen, I know that you say you have to tackle things and, you know, tackle all these fears, and your son is watching you and you got to do some scary things. When I met you, right?
Yeah.
Your name was Deya Patterson.
Well,
and when we when we met, we had conversations, right? Off camera, we had conversations, and we used to sit and talk, and you'd be like, yeah, you know, we'll have these little questions. You know, now your name is Deya Smith.
listen.
Now, tell us just a little bit. Was that fearful for you? Was this something that you dreamed of?
A big step.
Oh my God.
That's a big step.
So I'm going to be super transparent and say that it is something I've always wanted, but it's also something I never thought I would get. And so, yeah, it is. The whole time I'm just like, well, is it really it? Let me see. You know, I'm just like testing it, like, you still here? Okay. All right. You know, let me see. Everybody love me for 90 days. Let me see 90 days. I'm still here. 6 months. Oh, look at you. You know, 9 months. Oh, look at me. Oh my goodness. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it's a big thing. It is something, again, that I've always wanted, and I always even prayed for everybody else. But after all the situationships and things that I've been in, for me, I just didn't think it was going to happen. So the fact that it has happened, I am still in awe. Still.
Wow.
So how long have you been Mrs. Smith? Is it Smith or?
Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
I have been. I've been married for a year and some change. In August, it'll be 2 years.
Oh, y'all in the happy stage.
Well, I'm ready to share my.
Happy stage. That means there's another stage coming.
I would say, so I do think that this is like an amazing stage because we're both still in awe, but I also feel like this is low-key like a growing pain stage. It's especially my thing is, even when I talk to like my friends and my little sisters, you know, things like that, I'm like, listen here, okay? The longer you're single, the harder this situation is. And so I was like 38, you know what I'm saying? Like when we met, 39. So listen.
You were used to what you were used to.
I'm like,
my way.
Like this. Okay? And he's just like, no, we're gonna do it like that. And I'm like, first of all. You
You
know,
gave him the
so
neck, the New York neck, the
it's
Rochester
a
roll.
whole situation.
We
I love
get it.
it. I think it
No.
is awesome, and I admire people like the both of you and just everyone that I'm surrounded by, like Chris, like Pastor Aaron and Joni, like everyone who's in my age group who's been in it longer than me. Like I just admire it, which is why all my questions. So I'm like, what is it like? I don't know. I have no idea what it's like. This is not only my first marriage, but it's also my longest relationship, my most
Mm.
serious relationship.
Mm.
And so, yeah, you know what I mean? So listen, I'm case study. Like everything that happened, I'd be like, oh, right, let me see her. Let me write this down because I'm going to share this story. But it's really cool.
That's
So
good. That's
so
us.
listen, so I've watched you from afar. I can't remember how we met, how we linked up. I
Good
just know when
question.
we linked up, we was linked. And
Yeah.
so when I met you, you were doing a pod, I would say a pod or a video show called The Power Push. Now, where did the inspiration for Power Push come from?
Oh man. So I don't think my story is boring, but it could be because it's from the beginning of time. Again, I was very self-conscious, always struggle with self-esteem and just the way I saw myself, and life just seemed so hard and it just seemed so difficult. And as I got older, and started to make people laugh and feel good and things like that, I realized that so many other people were kind of going through the same thing as me. Like
Mm,
a lot of people, life is hard. A lot of people,
Mm.
we are trying to defy odds. We are trying to, go the other way, go against stream of our family, go against stream of, our environment. And it is just tough and it's hard. And I just really wanted to encourage those who were trying to do something different with their life, even though their circle wasn't exemplifying what they felt in their heart. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I have a dream, even though my environment or my family or my situation, my baby daddy, all these different things seem like I'm going to be a statistic. And so I just wanted to
Mm.
encourage and empower to say, nah, stay on it. Like the past really does not dictate your future. You have to push. And as you know, we all have power. That's it. We just have to push. That's it. And so
I
just
like
let people
that.
know that I'm no different. I always wanted to be the mirror. Like, no, I don't have different blood, and we don't know Oprah, but you do know me. And if I could do
mm,
it, surely you could do it. Like,
Right.
we all have the same faith the size of mustard seed. We all
yeah.
have really the same ingredients. You just have to power through it and push it. So yeah, I just wanted to encourage everybody who was ever in the same position as me.
Wow.
That's
Now,
good.
how long have you been doing Power Push?
Man, so Power Push, oh man. Can I tell you the backstory of it? I don't know if I can.
Sure. Tell us.
Excuse me. So the backstory of Power Push, I feel like God has always spoken to me, long story short, which is why when I was younger, I just always was a thinker and a feeler. I just feel like God would just always drop nuggets inside of me. So much so when I was about 10 years old, I was standing outside playing in the hood, okay, real close to the dead end, on the dead end street. And God just spoke to me and was like, you're going to be an evangelist. And I'm like, what?
Mm. Oh, wow.
And this is before I'm doing anything. And he's
Yeah.
like, you're going to be an evangelist. And so fast forward, I don't know. I think I'm okay. I mean, life is really tough. Again, everything's happening. I'm a single mom with these two sons. They're growing up. I'm in South Carolina, whole family up north. That's a challenge in itself. And one day, I was watching YouTube because I watched for my hair and makeup and tips. I got a doctorate at YouTube University, so yeah. And so one day it's like God literally was like, look at that, and then look at that. And so I was looking at views, and I was looking at caption, and I started looking at their background and like how the video looked and all these different backstage things. And so it was almost like he was literally like turning my attention to what I felt like he was telling me, this is what you should be doing. And so I was so scared. My first response to everything is scared. Well, maybe not now, actually. But then my first response to everything is like, I can't, because I'm like, save in South Carolina, but in New York, we like, hey, what we doing? You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, but my friends in New York, and I just felt like, because Facebook was, friends back in the day. Before it was business, it was just friends. And I'm like, man, they won't receive me because, they don't know South Carolina Deya. They only know Club Rochester Deya. You know what I mean? And so I started going live on Periscope, which was a platform. Not even sure. Are you guys familiar with Periscope?
Yeah.
Twitter. I think that was on Twitter.
It was something. It was like its own platform, whatever.
Right.
It was and so you can go live on it, but it's people from everywhere on there. And so that was perfect because again, I can hide, and whoever met me, they didn't really know me. So it was cool. So I started on Periscope, but then it was like, God was like, because you're scared over there, you need to go over there. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Wow. And I was just like, I can't do it. Then one day I went live, and I was just so scared of the feedback. But one day I went live, and the inboxes I got from people that I went to school with and that knew me before I moved down south, it was like, I don't know. It was like they believed in me, or they believed me, and I spoke to them, and I was like, and I just got so many inboxes. This one girl, she was like, yeah, I saw you when you was changing. And, I knew God was going to do something with you. And I'm just like, I was changing? Because I didn't realize that. I'm at the club with everybody else, And she was like, yeah, I just noticed you started, doing things different. You didn't hang out with us as much. And so it just goes along with the testament. God will move you when it's time to move you. And so apparently my appetite was changing. My attention was changing, even though it wasn't me that was changing it.
Wow.
So that was a super long story, but that is how I got into the Power Push. It started on Periscope and then went over to Facebook, but I didn't have a name for it. And one day I started talking about David. I believe it was David, who was like, Lord, shall I pursue? And he was like, yes. Pursue, overtake, and without fail, you will recover all. And from that point on, that was the message. I'm not talking about nothing else. Listen, pursue, overtake, and without fail, which was the key. Without fail, you're gonna recover all. First, you got to pursue and overtake. So, yeah,
that's awesome. So he gave you the power to push and move forward, and look, we got the phenomenal power of Deya Smith.
Pusher. Yeah. So Deya, let's rewind. You said a whole lot. Now, what brought you from New York to South Carolina? You have family here in South Carolina, or what was that?
Wow. Man.
Yeah, right. So my best friend randomly, shouts out to Shakina. Hey, boo. She's still my best friend.
Shakina, shouts out.
A.a.a.a. She's still my bestie to this day. So my friend, we all work together. I met her at my job, actually. It was so funny. But she got fired from the job and just moved. Listen, Monday fired, Wednesday moving to South Carolina with my parents. And so we always stayed in touch. I'm going to be honest. I knew South Carolina existed. I don't know if I had really heard of Charleston, honestly, because, whatever state you're in is kind of what you learn about the most. And so I didn't exactly know about it, but my best friend lived here. And so I would come down and see her, or we would come down and visit her family. And my dad actually lives about 45 minutes from here in Andrews. And so, yeah. She was the sole reason I moved down here, just to do something different. Honestly, I had zero church plans in the world, okay? In the world, okay? I was bringing all the ratch, every ounce of it. Okay, me and my ratchet friends, what we doing in Carolina? What we doing? And so yeah, she was like, "Don't you want to do something?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so me and my son, we had a plan. So before my sons came down, I was just down here with her. And then for the beginning of the school year, they came down too. So it's just me and my sons and my best friend, and she held me down until I was able to stand on my own too. And yeah, and God saved me like immediately. I mean, on the flight. He was like, so. And I'm just in flight, almost about to land in Charleston. And he was like, perfect. So now that I have you here. And it's the craziest story, but it's true. It's my life. And so he was like, now that I have you here, right? You need to make a choice. You need to make a decision. Whatever you do, you have to do it for me. And you have to make a decision. And I was just like, Lord, come on. Like, I mean, just get me to Beyonce stat. I promise I'll come back. Just like Kelly Clarkson. I was just like, Lord, I'm going to come back. And he was like, listen, first of all, you're not Beyonce. Okay. And I was just like, oh, Lord. Okay. I mean, and so it was really an arrest in the spirit on the flight, on the flight from like Charlotte to Charleston. Whole time, God is like, you need to make a decision. Whatever you, and I was like, but Lord, I came from strict church. Like, I won't be able to sing. I won't be able to, do comedy. I won't be able to do these things. And he was like, listen, you can do all of those things as long as it is for me. Now, if you do it and it's not for me, it's not going to work. It's up to you. And so on the flight, I said, okay. And I got off. Mm-hmm.
You did go to church while you lived in Rochester.
As long as my mom made me. I grew up in church. So I was born and raised in church. My mom joined the church when I was 3 months old. So I was born and bred in church. And then as soon as I didn't have to go, I didn't go. But once I had
typical kid.
Yeah. you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's how it is.
You can't wake me up to go to church today? Yes. I'm free. What we doing? We listening to rap music all day, whatever. And so, yeah, but once I had my sons, I really wanted them to have like a foundation at least, or some type of faith. I wasn't in church, so I wasn't going to push them to church, but I didn't want them to be unfamiliar with God, if that makes any sense. That, so I just wanted them to be familiar. So if it's a direction that they go in as they're older, it's just not this unfamiliar territory. But I wasn't as crazy as it was when I was growing up. So I went a little bit, but not like that. Like I'm just, out here in these streets. So I wasn't fully churchy until that flight. And I gave God my yes. I told my best friend, and we went to church literally that Sunday from then on. Because God knew. What shot that my shit?
I feel like you said God knew. I feel like you may not have been able to do it that way in Rochester. Like God had to remove you straight out. Hey, get out of New York.
100%.
Go down here where you're not known. And now be more free to worship me and give your life to me before you land in this sacred, because Charleston's the holy city. This sacred.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I do believe that, though. I do believe, and I always say that Charleston was my growing place because it was the place where I was able to, trying to figure out how to say this, I was able to choose my identity and not be who everybody told me I was, or be,
made you out to be.
Who the expectation or anything. I can be Deya, and I can be true to Deya and who God wants me to be. So this has been like my growing place. I came to myself here, like, like this is who I am. So I am beautiful, with or without makeup. I am beautiful with or without weave. I sing, even if it's different, I still sing and God loves it and I'm dope. Do you know what I mean? Like all these different things that I would shut down or I felt super self-conscious about, or somebody said something that made me feel like I wasn't it, or I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't pretty enough, or whatever it was. I was able to truly discover myself here inside. I really do feel like it was definitely one of those come from amongst your kindred type of situations. And yeah, yeah, I am grateful, honestly.
So let's go ahead. Go
Now
ahead,
let's
JR.
take a break because I have some more
Yeah.
questions. It's probably going to linger off a little bit more, but let's take a break first.
We're gonna take a quick break, y'all. I hope y'all been picking up what she's putting down. She's dropping the gems, and we love it. When we get back from the break, we're gonna go into the evolution of Miss Smith, Miss Deya, Miss MC. She can sing, she can control that mic, she can control that crowd. All when we come back. Share this video. We'll be right back.
Originally from upstate New York, now residing in Charleston, South Carolina, Deya is often referred to as the power pusher. Deya is the mother of 2 amazing sons and the future wife of an awesome, dedicated man. Deya is a thought leader, a mentor, and a powerful speaker that dives into topics of mental wellness, self-care, self-love, and self-confidence.
I can't see nobody. I don't know what it is. Can we turn the lights up a little bit? All right, y'all ready? Oh, hey, y'all. Hey. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all good? Are y'all ready for this? Yeah, take your seatbelt off. Go ahead, take your seatbelt off. So we are going to be together for a little while today. And so we want to start this up by getting to know each other. This is our first time live again. Can we make some noise for coming together again?
And we're back. So listen, we are here rocking it with Miss Deya Smith. And before the break, Deya was sharing all of her how she got to the power push, how she got even here to South Carolina, with her ratchetness. and before the break, we asked, we wanted to talk about the evolution of Miss Deya. I'm gonna say it like this way: from DP to DS now. The evolution from how that switched. Now, before the break, JR has something. Go ahead, JR. Shoot it off.
Yeah. Now you mentioned something that stood out to me, and you said something about you not Beyonce, but you can't sing. I think you can sing better than Beyonce.
Oh,
But
she's
anyway,
Well,
but I kept asking you every time I would see you, dear, when you coming out with something, what you waiting on, what you doing, what's so, and you would say that. Well, so you do have something coming out soon, right?
I do. I'm super
Oh,
excited. I am working on a project with Choice. Hey, what we doing?
shout
We
out.
out here.
Shout out to Homie Choice.
Yes. And so we are working on a project. It's a long time coming. I just don't think that I was where I am now. Maybe confidence wise. And so a singer, yeah, always been a singer. So I've been singing since I was like 5, honestly. So always been a singer, but again, one of those things that I was super self-conscious about, which is how I got into emceeing, because it was easier for me to talk in front of people than it was for me to sing in front of people.
Oh,
And
wow.
so Yeah,
I
now
didn't
I
know
can do
that.
both. Now what we doing? Like we out here, but but yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
So when is that supposed to drop?
So
What
we're
did
working on it right now. I'm gonna be honest. I would probably say not necessarily fall. Yeah, probably fall.
Okay. And then you said you I know we spoke off screen. You are working on a project for yourself. And
Yes.
what is this project gonna be called? Do you have a name for it yet, or
We don't
you
have a
haven't gotten
name yet. We're
it? Okay.
figuring it out.
Nice.
I do feel
That's
like
the name.
I'm just figuring it out. Yes. It's the story of my life. Like I am not this complicated person. And I just really like always being transparent. And so while I'm working on this project, I still wanted to reflect all the facets of me. Like
Mhm.
I think people always see me this one way, but I'm so many ways. You know what
Mm.
I mean? So
Mhm.
I'm not always bubbly and I'm not always happy. And I'm not always strong and I'm not always like, yeah, like I'm a soft crybaby girl who thinks a lot and who has a lot of empathy and empath type stuff going on and also anointed and then all these so I want to make sure that the music and also listen hood with a whole lot of soul and a whole lot of God, and so that's a whole thing. So I
Mhm.
want to make sure that it reflects me. So I'm gonna write figuring it out. I like that, figuring it out, because that's really
Yeah,
what it is,
that
honestly.
popped
Yeah.
out when you said that. I'm still figuring out. Oh shoot, that sounds like the title.
I see the cover. She's writing it down, and on the top it says "Figuring It Out." Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So now, speaking of figuring things out, Dia, um, I look at you. You said it earlier. You're multifaceted. You wear a lot of different hats. And a lot of people see you maybe in one way, right? I've gotten to see you in multiple ways, and I can personally say from the power pusher, you know, and the singer, I saw what I knew the potential was there, but I didn't see until I saw it was the emceeing, right? I was like, oh man, she can really hold the audience and really bring some laughter and bring some ease that tension and nervousness. And you seem to really shine doing that. And so I'm looking at you, I'm putting you into a category, right?
Mhm.
So I look at you as a multifaceted entrepreneur, and you have a lot of hats that you wear, and you're successful in a lot of different things. Jared just mentioned you have a project coming out, working on music, singing, you're overcoming your fears. But as a African American female,
Mhm.
has there ever been any unique challenges that has kind of gotten you shaped some of your views or shaped some of your decisions or some of the things that you're doing right now? Has
Mm.
there been any challenges that you faced that you are where you are because this challenge was in the way and it kind of shaped you into that person?
Man, so firstly, I'd like to say that I feel like I've probably always been an outlier. Like I've always been an exception to the game, an exception to the rule, an exception. Like I've always been that way. And yeah, I've literally always been that way. And so I am used to fighting for space. I am used to fighting to be myself. I'm used to, going alone and going upstream or going away from the crowd. Like I'm so used to it. Is honestly like the story of my life. I'm used to being different. And so as a like an African American woman, it's been so many challenges. Even moving from the north to the south, that was a thing that so up north I went to school for communications.
Oh,
And
nice.
so it was one of my professors who even told me, she was like, you are so funny. You are so this, you so that. You should try out, you should audition for a play. I'm from the hood. I don't even know what an audition is, to be quite honest. And it's like, what? Like, what? Like, I have no idea. I'm not open to this. But she saw it in me, and I was like, well, maybe I'll check it out. And so I went and I auditioned for this play that they was doing at it was a college, and the play that they was doing at the college. I didn't get the part, but I'm here now. Like, I'm exposed now to auditioning and, theater in general, and, just kind of taking prompts from people. Side note, I've always taken prompts from people because my perspective and my view of me has always been skewed. And so, people kind of told me who I was, and in a good way. People have always poured into me. So yeah. So from sketch, comedy, and all these bold, outgoing things in New York, coming down here, I am this. And they're like, you need to calm down. No.
Wow. So speaking of challenging or challenges, a few years back, I believe, maybe 2 years, you lost one of your sons. How I know that was very difficult because
Yeah.
no one wants to lose a loved one.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the I am still in recovery. Is the best way to put it. It's the craziest thing. I'm trying to hold it together because it's still an emotional thing. And I have this picture like right here, just like looking at me.
Wow.
And so it's just the craziest thing. He is the one who first of all not only made me a mother, but also the one who made me have to change my life. He's the one who said, "Mom, did you do that?" And he showed me that he was watching me, that he was intelligent. And so I changed because of. And I really went after myself. And so that is the biggest challenge of my life still. Because in the midst of, prior to that, everything was great. It seemed like it was working out. And I know you both have children. Wait, how old is your old? You have a baby, right, Gabe?
I have a grown up and a baby. My son.
Grown up and a baby? Wait, how old is your grown up?
My grown up is 23.
Okay. Awesome.
22 or 23.
So you get it. What about you, JR?
My oldest is 9. She'll be 10 next month.
Awesome. And so I said that because it's like parenting, you know what I'm saying? Like between about 15 till about 21 or 22. It's the hardest thing in the universe. And it was really tough with me and my oldest son. And it was really horrible for a little while. And he had just kind of, we had mended. I knew he loved me. Everything was great. He was 23, so I don't even know. I can't even count anymore. But so they're 4 years apart. And so they were older and everything was just so great. Life was so great. I had to figure it out. I had just did my live recording.
I was gonna say
that is right. Yeah.
I had just did it the month before. It was in August. And so life is so great. And I can remember saying, like, I'm just so happy. You know what I mean? I'm happy to be the mother of these young adult men. And we just had such a close bond and everything was just so amazing. So with his passing, it was definitely life altering. It was life shattering to where I had to, and so I'm always used to fighting, like I just said, fighting for myself. And so in this moment, I'm fighting for my humanity. I'm not a play toy or a puppet. I'm a lady. I'm a single mom who lost her baby. Do you know what I mean? Who lost her son. It's supposed to be the other way around. You know what I mean? And so I just found myself kind of just fighting for my humanity enough to, I can cry. Like I can be sad. I'm not pushing. Okay. I need you to push me. Do you know what I mean? And so that was kind of like my life for a long time. This year, it was 2021. Like I have no concept of time, to be really transparent. I have zero concept of time anymore. But it was 2021, but it still feels like it was yesterday or last year. And so it is just trying to get back on, but can't really get back on. because it was almost like going through an identity crisis. Because
Mm.
now who am I? I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can push anymore. I don't know if I could encourage anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make jokes and cry. And then I don't know if I should show cry or show strong. I don't know. So it was
Right.
very challenging. Honestly, this year or coming close to this year, I started to feel my strength. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like my
Yeah.
actual factual help and like being able to say, all right, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to cry, but I'm still going to go. But the last couple years, it's been very, I just can't. Like, I don't want to. Like, questioning everything, questioning life itself, to be honest. Like, no, like, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in everybody, including God. Like, I'm disappointed and I don't want to serve and I don't want to be. And I just, I just want to sit here in the dark and just everybody leave me alone. And so, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. Slowly but surely, just getting back to it and being able to grieve and still go and
Wow.
mourn and still go to sit still.
And
Wow.
I was gonna say that's all a part of the grieving process. I
Yeah.
know in our culture, like to grieve is not really talked about. It's not
Yeah.
really
Mm-hmm.
expressed, and it's kind of like shake it off and keep going, like go back to work.
Yeah.
And we should really give ourselves a
Yeah.
chance to grieve.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a ministry within itself. Like this
It
is my
is.
season to grieve. I'm grieving right now.
Yeah.
Um,
And then a
and
lot of people have lost people, but
mhm,
we're grieving so many things.
Oh,
mhm,
yes.
People are
Absolutely.
grieving change.
Yeah.
Some
Yes.
people are grieving relationships. They're
Oh, yeah.
grieving marriages and they're grieving losses. Do you know what
Mm.
I mean? And so we just don't give ourselves a chance to be human. I think that that's the biggest thing. And I think that's my ministry, honestly. I feel like my ministry is to talk to the human,
Mm.
period. Like no matter what. Because I
yeah,
feel like God cares for you no matter what state you're in, no matter who you are, no matter how hurt you are, no matter how angry you are, no matter what questions you have, he still cares about you. And so I feel like in this season, I'm a little bit more for the human. I'm
Mm.
a little bit more for the human. I need you to take a break. It's okay. And if it all falls apart, it wasn't solid foundation in the first place. So
Yeah.
you need to go back and reassess. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But take
Yeah.
a break. And yeah, just kind of care for people and care for yourself more than you care for people.
Wow.
and speaking of that, I'm glad you're there.
Yeah.
Speak to the audience, because there's a lot of people, like you said, grieving. They may not show it, they might suppress it on the inside, and whatever's in, it's going to have to come out at some point, right? And so speak to that person, like like for you. And I know it's a roller coaster, and I know that you're still in that, but
Mm.
how, as an entrepreneur, as a person that wears these hats, a singer, an artist, a mother, a wife, doing a lot, emceeing, and pushing, forward, how do you make the time to balance for self-care, for wellness,
Mm.
for just giving yourself a chance to just be human? Let me just put everything on pause. How do you do that?
I love that.
Mm.
You do that with practice.
uh
You do that
Intentional.
with intention, with great support. And I feel like it's the most courageous thing that you could do, because now you have to say no and
Yeah.
with explanation and just so I literally prioritize myself. And then also look at the plate. What's on the plate?
Necessary, unnecessary.
Necessary, unnecessary expectation from somebody else. And so I feel like we have so much going on. One of the biggest things I've learned from losing my son is that tomorrow is 100% not promised.
Absolutely.
And so because it is not promised, it's like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And so I find balance with making sure that I have like literal off time, period. And so if I just want to sit around, that's literally all I'm doing. And when I want to do something, I do it. And when I don't, I don't. And like that's the whole story. And so just being serious about me and being serious about my person. And so I was just having this conversation. Another thing is, when you're going through these moments, don't isolate. I feel like a lot of people isolate, and that may not be the best thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't mind.
Yeah, you do need people around you, even to help you. Because sometimes self-care is to laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have a good time and to not be pressurized and not working on work, not working on the future, Listen, be in the now. And so it's like so many different things that we have to unlearn to make room for what we need to learn. You know what I mean? Because I was just talking to my husband about this. Survival mode is a real thing. And as soon as something happens, you go directly back into survival mode. But it was only good for that moment. It was only good for when you were being abused. It was only good for when you really didn't have no food to eat and no job. It was only good for when, you was in a crazy situation. But it's not good for right now while you're in grief. It's just not good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's time to get out of survival and then and allow yourself to be human so that you can just live. Even if you're not thriving, at least you're not surviving, because surviving means that your body is prepared to be chased and ate up by a bear. You're not being chased by a bear. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, just being intentional and not spiritual. Intentional on a very regular basic level. Like, I'm all for the human. My push message honestly has changed. I still believe that you have to go through in order to get to. I do believe that. But since my experience, I feel like you also need to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What does it profit a man to gain the whole wide world? And in this case, lose his mind.
That's what the soul is.
So you have all the money, but you don't even know that you have it. You have all the money and your legs are amputated. So you can't even truly enjoy. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, what does it profit you to do all these different things, but you can't even enjoy them? And so it's time for us to just prioritize ourselves intentionally, not in this bad way that the world tried to make it seem. No, I need to take care of me because I'm going through. And the whole world since the pandemic has been going through. And nobody's stopping to say, hey, I'm going through. It's like, I wake up at 5 a.m., you know what I'm saying? And then I do 1,000 jumping jacks and da-da-da-da. And then it's like this hamster wheel of achievement and accomplishment. But you're not taking care of yourself. Yeah, and your body, it still remembers. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Your body remembers.
I feel like God was intentional when he said, hey, 6 days work, but give 1 day for rest. I feel like that's what I'm hearing from you. Like, hey, you got to balance it off. You have to take some time for yourself, self-care, take care of yourself. So speaking of taking care of yourself, dear, you just did an event on yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It was the MC
for my bank.
The Rev.
That's your bank? Listen, I gotta get my bank now. Listen.
The Reverend.
The Rev. Come on, Rev.
At Rev Bank. Now, how first of all, how'd you get that?
Awesome.
Let us know, how'd you get that event, and how was that event for you?
My Lord. Well, first let me go ahead and be deep for a second. Listen. I showed up. Period. Showed up.
Bam.
I showed up. So I I've been emceeing events for a while, and there was a particular event, or two events actually, that they attended. People from their executive office attended, and they saw me hosting other events. So
oh wow,
I showed up. And that's how I got it. And so they got in contact with me because they had already seen me in action. And, and then also, of course, you have to kind of have the character to keep it going. So you can see me in action, but when you actually talk to me, I'm not that girl. And so obviously me being the same today, yesterday, and that's for the Bible scholars, but I am the same when you see me out here and when you see me in person. And so just kind of building that relationship. And so I have been in the meetings to make sure, because an MC, a lot of people don't know, an MC is not the person you just throw up there and give the script to. An MC is the thread of the whole event. Do you know what I mean? And so you bring the MC in before the event, not the day of, and just throw all this like jargon at them. And so I was in many meetings with them to kind of understand the organization, understand the point of the event, to understand what they wanted to be portrayed and the energy they wanted. And it was a great experience. Yesterday was amazing. It was phenomenal. And Rev Bank through and through is just so awesome to the community and to like each other, like as a company. So yeah, it was awesome to be a part. I loved it. I love being on stage and really rocking it. I got my little clicker. I was just like, yeah. So, I was on for the city, okay? And I loved every minute. I feel like with emceeing, it's amazing because I'm able to be 100% myself while being professional as well. Do you know what I mean? So keeping us on time and making sure that, as a comedian, as an actress, like just being able to read my audience, like, all right, like,
I like that.
I see what y'all like. Got it.
I like that. I like that because you said a whole lot, and I hope that you guys are picking up what she's saying. She said that, hey, I just showed up, right? Meaning she got the event because somebody that's a somebody at that place saw her doing her thing. And so for you guys, you just got to put yourself out there. Do your thing. Somebody's going to see. I wholeheartedly believe there's an audience for your gift.
Yeah.
You just got to let them know that you got the gift and that you do your thing.
Yeah.
You're America's best kept secret.
Exactly.
And you don't want to be a secret too long.
And to add to what you said, Gabe, she also said she practiced first. And so she prepared, preparation, and then she showed up. When you practice and you show up, you're ready.
Hey,
the message of the hour is be prepared now.
And I had that. I heard that message a couple of days ago.
Let me pause for a second here. Now, I don't want to take up. I don't want to belabor the time. But listen, stop asking God for all this stuff you're not prepared for. You are not positioned and or prepared. Like you can't say, make me even a millionaire if you cannot even manage $100. But also don't make me this and don't make me that if you have not studied it. At least study up on the craft so that when the door opens, you're able to walk in it and stay. Because I believe that what God wants you to do now is keep it. He's not bringing you there for exposure. He's bringing you there to keep you there because that's what he always had planned for you. But if you're not prepared, you're going to miss it. Man.
I promise you that God will only give you what you can handle, what you're prepared for. If you ain't prepared for it, you can pray all day. You're going to be like, yeah, I hear you, but you're going to get this.
Listen. Don't let him mess around and give you his permissive will.
Hey, look.
You about to go all the way to the top.
That's what the Israelites wanted. They wanted a king, right? They kept praying for a king.
You said you wanted a king. Here you go.
There you go.
Ooh. So listen, dear, I got one more question for you.
Okay.
So looking ahead in the future, what are some of your aspirations, for your business, for where you're going with this emceeing thing, with this singing thing, with this power pushing thing? Where are we going at with this?
Man. Oh man. I don't know if I want a beehive. Just kidding.
I got you.
I got it.
Well, but I do want to build a community of courageous people who have successfully overcome and defied all odds. I fully do want to build just a huge community of pushers. Also, with emceeing, I want to train. I want to open up an agency, really, of
Oh,
other MCs to kind of, and that's public speaking, that's emceeing, is keynoting, is so many other elements in that element, and so being able to train them. And so, when it's something that I can't do because I'm out here, you know what I'm saying, I'm in Japan, I can't really do that.
yeah.
I can go ahead and send someone who from under my own like tutelage, basically. And so being able to build an agency there, but overall building a community of pushers, of people who now see themselves for who they actually are and not based on expectation or applause. Like they see themselves the way that God sees them. So,
Amen.
yeah.
One more question, and it's just real quick. Any influence people that you look up to? Who do you look up to? Anybody? Anybody influence you?
Everybody. I'm such
Everybody?
a and I think this is the thing a lot of people don't know. I study. I even love y'all. I think you guys are amazing. Oh my god. I study everybody. I mean, immediately who comes to, oh man, it's like 8 names in my brain directly at this moment. I'm still on Miles Monroe.
Mm,
150% as far
That's my
as just
guy.
overall life wisdom.
yeah.
I of course I love a bunch of different evangelists between TD Jakes, Brian Meadows, John Hanna.
Mm,
I man, my guy David Shands with podcasting specifically,
mm.
with Social Proof Podcast. It's like so many people that I study for what I need to study for. Do you know what I mean? There's a singer
Gotcha.
that I just super love right now, Jordan Welch, and she's just like this amazing. And so I really, truly, and I'm so grateful. I really study every part of me, every facet of me. I pay full attention to it, to prepare and to learn and to always try to improve. Do you know what I mean? But I'm a studier of people,
Oh,
and I'm always just trying to improve and be a better me, and so that I could just be effective to the people
That's
around
good.
me and be contagious.
That's good.
cool. How can you be reached? How can people reach you so they can study you?
Listen, well, because you need to. I'm just kidding. Uh, well, you can always check me out on social media on Instagram. I am Mrs. Yep, you heard that. You see this, Mrs. _ Deya _ Smith. On Facebook is Deya Smith. And I do have a website, deyarsmith.com. If you're looking for an MC or corporate MC to get your event going and keep your audience engaged, here I am to save the day.
You write that
And
down.
so those are the places that you can reach me at. And of course, if you're looking for some good singing on a Sunday morning, find me at Lloyd Harris. So I'm around. I'm out here in the streets.
Dope. So listen, Deya, we're so elated that you came on our platform and joined Ask a Producer. This is your first time on the platform. Hopefully, it's not your last time. You know, listen, y'all go to her pages, her social platforms. Like the pages, follow her. Contact her, book her. And everything that you see on the screen and you saw on the screen. Jr., any last words? Anything?
Dear, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. Like Gabe said, you are the ball of energy, and you brought all of that power and that energy to us, and we enjoyed it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Definitely. We want to have you again at
Yeah.
some point. So listen, y'all share this video. We're glad you tuned into Ask a Producer. I go by the name of Gabriel Oree. This is
JR,
Hey, listen, and we out.
peace.